All right, this is Henry from Stringed Arizona. Today we're going to talk a little bit about major triads. Basically, a major triad is the first, third, and fifth intervals of the major scale played together to create basically a major chord. I'm going to spare you on the musical theory, and we're going to just suffice it to know that there are basically these shapes you can memorize, which are movable on the fretboard that will allow you to play triads in any key if you remember them. We're going to stay in the key of G for this particular example. The first shape looks like this. I'm on the third, second, and first string, on the fourth fret for the third string, third fret for the second and first strings. And this is what the shape looks like. Now, the root note of this shape is dependent on whatever the high E string is. So in this case, it's a G. Therefore, this is a G triad. If I move it here, now it's an A, now it's a B, so forth and so on. The next shape we're going to look at is basically like a D shape, like a D chord. We're just going to move it here. Where my ring finger is on the B string, that's what's going to determine the root note of the triad. So in this case, I'm making the D shape. My ring finger is on the 8th fret on the B string, so I know that that's going to make this a G triad. The next one that we're going to do in G is determinant on where my ring finger is on the 3rd string. So in this case, I'm on the 12th fret, and I'm playing the 3rd and 2nd strings, and then my first finger is playing the 1st string on the 10th fret. Whenever you make this shape, wherever your ring finger is going to be what the root note is. So in this case, I'm playing a G triad. This remains true, these three shapes, no matter where you move them on the fretboard, the root notes will dictate what the root is, what triad you're playing. The next three shapes are going to start a little bit lower. So the first one basically is like an F chord. I'm on the 5th, 4th, and 3rd frets on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd string, respectively. This is going to also be a G major triad. Okay. The next one, I'm on the 9th fret on the D string. I'm on the 7th fret on the G. I'm on the 8th fret on the B. There's another G triad. Your middle finger on that B string is what determines the root note, so that's why this is a G. And then the last one, I just use one finger to play this. I'm going to bar the 12th fret on the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings. And that is going to be a G triad, and that is determined by where the 3rd string is. Okay? So that's kind of a crash course on some of my most used shapes in triads. What can you use this for? So let's pretend, for giggles, that the rhythm guitar player in your band is playing D, C, and G. Okay? You don't know what to play over it. You don't want to play the exact same chords, so you're kind of at a loss. This is a trick that you can use. So using my triad trick, I know there's a D. So I'm just going to play this kind of D, this shape. I know that wherever the 3rd string is, that will determine the root note. So in this case, I'm here, so that makes this a D. Okay? For C, I'm going to do the F shape on the 10th fret. Okay? My ring finger is on the D string, and I know that that is what makes the root note. So and this is a C chord, so I'm playing a C triad. Okay? And then for G, I'm going to do this shape because my middle finger, remember, determines the root note. So what I now have is, while the rhythm guitar is doing, I'm doing this. Okay, that'll let me nuance my playing a little bit differently. You can also have fun with those and arpeggiate. So that's a little bit more interesting than just hanging on the cowboy chords. So remembering those triads is super helpful. Another thing that you can use triads for that's really cool is creating melodies over chord rotations. So this would be an example of what that might look like. If we're in the key of, let's say we're in the key of D, this movement is a D triad, and wherever I move it, my middle finger will determine the triad. So now it's D, now it's going to be C, now it's going to be G. So you can use that as a way to make an interesting melody. So you've got, you might do, okay? And you can also move that around. Just remember, if you started on the G string, you have to shift up to account for the fact that B is tuned differently. So if we started it here, we'll look a little bit more at triads, I'm sure, later on, but this is definitely something for you to start with and kind of chew on. Remember those shapes and remember how to tell where the root notes are. It'll help you navigate the fretboard and make your playing more interesting. I hope this was helpful. Make sure to hit like and subscribe and comment below.